Sometimes things happen in your life that you don't expect to happen, and you just have to grow through what you go through. About 32 years ago, my family and Philip's family met in a complex called Homestead Crescent. Homestead Crescent was the best place to grow up. It was so fun and we had so many adventures. Our family spent a lot of time together. Our units faced each other, and so we shared some shared grass space. We used to rip up and down the grass in our water slides, the slip and slides, go on adventures climbing trees, and going to our local ravine to be able to find creatures. It was about this time that Phil's family moved when they were about 6 years old, and our families lost touch. When we were about 19 years old, Philip and I met downtown in a big city at a bar with a group of friends. We exchanged numbers that night and our story began. I don't know how many of you remember Palm Pilots before cell phones were a hit. Well, Philip saved my number that night in a Palm Pilot. The problem was the final digit of my phone number didn't save. So he had to go on his own adventure to be able to find out which number 0 through 10 was going to be the last digit to find me at that house. And so when I got home from work one day, I happened to see that a PT English had called my house. And so I called the number back and it was Philip. We went for dinner, and just a few short months later, we moved into our first apartment together. It was about this time that I had just left school doing 2 different art programs that I didn't finish. And I was looking for a change in career and what I was going to do with my life. Philip was working many different trade jobs at this time and even had his own business doing pools. Each year when we were younger, we created goals that we were going to set for ourselves to be able to accomplish during that time frame. We always tackled all of our goals together and we were a great team. I completed my college degree being an early childhood educator and began working full-time. Philip was able to find his career job being a lift mechanic at a local ski resort. It was also close to that time that we decided that it was time for us to start a family. And so we ended up having our son Chase in 2011. In 2009, we had our second son named Dayton. Once our son Dayton was born, we realized that the townhouse that we were living in was just way too small and we needed to buy our first home. And so we took on a little adventure and moved to a town we had actually never even been before, except for when we went to view the house. We got a great deal on our home and we packed up all of our things and moved to a small town. We thought that it would be great to be able to raise the boys in a smaller town living, that we wouldn't be rushing around our life all the time in a busy city. It was also at this time that I was able to find a job locally at a school, which meant that I didn't have to commute to the city every day. It also meant that I would get to have more time with the kids. Philip worked a lot of hours in the busy season. He was gone for a lot of the day and even into the nights, and our schedules just were conflicting all the time. It meant that he wasn't able to spend as much time with the kids as we had hoped. So last year, we decided to make a big change that would impact our family. This change was a big family meeting where we decided that we were going to make some really huge changes with our family life. It meant that we wanted to be able to meet some goals that we had set as a family all together, the kids, myself, and Philip. And we knew that this was ultimately going to be a journey that we were all going to have to take together. And our goal for this change was that we were going to be able to start a little bit fresh and be able to have better schedules and spend the most amount of time together. And that meant making some really big sacrifices and making a really big move. We really took a long time to decide what factors we wanted to consider when making some changes in our life. We knew that we wanted to make sure that our health and happiness were number one, and that meant that spending the most amount of time together was going to be our number one goal. And so in 2018, we decided that heading into the school year, I would stay home, be with the kids more before and after school, and be able to run my handmade business from home full time. And that Philip would keep his full-time job for a little while longer until we were able to just spend just with my business. It was in June of 2018 when we were offered a job to move all the way across the country, but this meant that we would be able to work together and be able to spend the most amount of time with our kids. I really loved my job of working as an ECE, but ultimately wanted to be home with my kids so much more. And they kept switching my job location and my teaching partners, which made work really stressful. And sometimes when I would come home from work, I would be worrying about kids that were at the school or work stressors that really just couldn't let go at the door on your way home. It was that next school year where they were going to transfer me to a far location that meant I would have even less time with my kids than I already had. Philip was working the most ridiculous long hours in a really labor-intensive job, and it meant that our schedules were always conflicting. It meant that when the kids were at school, he would be home sleeping and had to leave before they would get home, and it just went on for several years where it just really didn't make sense for our family to continue the way that we were going. So So we wanted to make sure that heading into this new school year that we would be able to make some changes that would really profoundly impact our togetherness as a family. And as we always set goals for our family, this was something that we knew we had to do then. Philip and I took a flight to where we were going to move across the country to check out what school the kids would go to, where we were going to work, and what school and area that we were going to ultimately be in with the kids. We were so excited, and we knew that this was going to be the best decision for our family to spend the most time together and help us reach the goals we had set for our family. We were so excited on our way home. We had been gone for 4 days and we missed the kids tremendously as we had never been away from them. We came home, listed our house for sale, and packed up everything that we knew we needed to take with us and sold absolutely everything else. Because of the cost of moving all the way across the country, and we were going to be in a much smaller residence when we moved, we actually sold literally everything we owned. We took exactly what we needed. We knew that we were going to be able to get some new items when we moved there, so we were really excited. We handed in our resignations to the jobs that we were now leaving, our career jobs, sold everything we owned, and loaded everything else into a U-Haul, ready for our big adventure.
And our next bit is going to be Thunder Bay, right?
And this is where things went wrong. Sorry. Sometimes things don't go as planned in life, and you just have to get through it and stay together as a family. We arrived where our new residence was going to be, and we started working at our new job. Our kids started at a new school in a new province and started to make some new friends. Things just weren't the same as being at home, but we knew it would take some time to adjust. After a couple of weeks, we realized that there were some things that were going on where we moved that just wasn't going to be a good fit for our family. And a lot of things happened that we really can't go into detail because we just wish the best for everyone involved. But what we did know was that the decision for us to rent a U-Haul to get back home was our only option. We called our real estate agent and told him to cancel the appointment at 2 o'clock for some people from Toronto that were coming to purchase our home. We said, stop it all, we've rented a U-Haul and we're coming back home. We loaded up absolutely everything we had already unpacked as quickly as we could, loaded everything into the moving truck, and started our journey back to Ontario. This was going to be a huge undertaking to get 2 vehicles, a 30-foot U-Haul, and 2 kids and a cat another 3,000 kilometers back home to Ontario. We had just made this trip 2 weeks prior. This was a huge undertaking and a really difficult decision to make, to come all the way back home. To be able to list our house and move out to where we moved, we used every last cent that we had to be able to make this move, to be able to make the change for our family, to have time together. And so heading back home meant that we were going to use literally every last penny and some to be able to make it back home. Pulling a 31-foot U-Haul with a trailer attached, 2 vehicles, 2 kids, a cat. My father-in-law was with us, thankfully. Philip and I, we knew that we had to come back home. And so we headed on our journey back to Ontario. We stayed in the worst places imaginable to sleep and get a few hours of rest in between our long journey back to Ontario. Thank goodness our home had not sold that day, or what we would have done when we got home. I have no idea where we would have ended up. We were lucky that our house hadn't sold and we had a home at least to come back to. It was incredibly empty, but it was a home to come home to. I am so glad that we are back home, and our children were so excited to know that we were heading back home because things where we were not good while we were there. So we're so thankful that we're back home. We pulled back into Ontario to our beautiful white house in our small town and knew that we were walking into a completely empty house, but at least we were together and we were back home safe. We blew 3 tires on the way home. The roads back to Ontario were terrible. So it was quite a journey, but we were so happy to get home, and boy, were we tired. We knew we would be walking into a completely empty home, but thank goodness for my mother and father-in-law, because they made sure when we got home that there was groceries in the fridge, toiletries in the bathroom, and a bed for us to sleep on. We took the next week or two to gather our emotions and put ourselves back together. We were so rested. We just knew we needed to be like rested up and kind of get our brains back to where we kind of needed them to be. It was not the adventure we were hoping for, and so we knew we needed to now again look at what we wanted to set for our goals and reset ourselves. My mother and father-in-law told us to bet on ourselves and to give the business a go and not to get jobs just anywhere just to be able to get by. We decided that if we would have gone to get full-time jobs outside of the home, all of what we went through would have been for nothing. And so we talked as a family and we decided to bet on ourselves. So we decided to create a YouTube channel showcasing some of the work that we were doing with my handmade business. We were shocked by the response of the videos that we were posting. We were making these videos with absolutely nothing. We didn't have any money to our name, and we had to get really creative on how we were going to create content to share online in hopes that one day we would monetize our channel and be able to make an income for our family. Luckily, we had not been gone that long when we took the big adventure, and so we picked up my Elysia English Designs business where we left off. Luckily, it was almost Christmas time and busy season was just about to get started. We launched one of our first YouTube videos, my Christmas crate video, and we were able to get flooded with orders. In order to become monetized on YouTube, you have to reach certain milestones. You need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. It took us from November until April to be able to reach our milestone to get monetized. We got our first check from YouTube in May for $36, but hey, we got our first YouTube check. We had no idea what this YouTube journey was going to be for us, but as we started inputting our channel videos online, we started getting the most amazing inspirational messages from our YouTube community. And we were able to build this sense of community with our channel that meant so much more than just uploading videos. It gave us the inspiration that we needed and the motivation to keep going, which ultimately was being able to make our dreams on our YouTube channel set even bigger for our family. And our togetherness time as a family has grown more and more each day. And just like when Philip and I were 18 and 19 years old, moving into our first apartment, we set yearly goals for our family back then. And so we knew that even during this struggle we were having, that we were going to set a yearly goal just like always and smash it like we always did together as a family. So our goal for our YouTube channel was to reach 10,000 subscribers in our first year, which felt like the impossible when we set that goal. We made a calendar on our fridge showing each month of the whole year and saying how many subscribers for each day we would need to get to be able to reach our goal. It really did seem impossible. Well, I'm proud to say that even after everything we've gone through this year, our family has gone even past the goal that we set. We reached 75,000 YouTube family members yesterday, and it's because of all of your guys' support that this has been possible. We wanted to share our story with you today during this video, not to make you sad, but just to be able to show you that we're trying to inspire and empower other people who maybe have gone through similar situations to ours. We had our life planned out for us and everything we thought was great. We thought we were making the best decision possible for our family. And sometimes things happen that are out of your control and you have to step back a little bit, and that's okay. So we wanted to be able to share our story to inspire other people to create a life that they love. Do what you love and think outside the box, and even if you're doing this from absolutely nothing, it's possible. As the new year is just a day away, we thought this was the perfect time to be able to share our year with you. This year has been a roller coaster for our family, and it hasn't been easy, but you guys have made it so much easier knowing that we have so many amazing people behind us. So as you look at what 2020 is going to bring for you, set yourself some big goals and think about what it means to you to create a life that you love. I want to take a quick second just to say thank you for everyone's support on our channel, and thank you to my mother and father-in-law who have supported us this whole way. They believed in us and they told us to bet on ourselves, so we really appreciate all of their support. So one of the things that we always do, as mentioned in this video, is set yearly goals for our family. And as a family, we've decided that we can use our platform to do good, not just saving the planet by saving trash, but maybe being able to give families the inspiration they need to keep going and help them out in little ways that we possibly can. There's lots of different ways you can reach out to someone that might need help, and so we want to be able to do that for the new year. So our goal is to be able to help families that maybe have gone through some hard times and maybe just need that extra boost to get by. So we are going to be starting something with our Etsy shop where we are going to be putting a portion of the proceeds of any sales on our shop for paintbrushes and aprons towards families that may need it. We're excited to be able to show this as part of our journey on our YouTube channel. So throughout this year, you're going to see some clips of how we as a family are able to help some families that might need it. And that to us means so much more than just being able to put creative content on YouTube. We have a platform to be able to make change. And there's so many people that are supporting us and who are surrounding us that we know we can make create change in the areas that they live in. So if we can inspire some people to do the same, then that means so much to us. Over the past couple of years, running my Elysia English Designs business and working a full-time job meant that I really had to stifle my creativity and the amount of time I could invest on my business. And we know that everything that happened this past year has only been for the better. Everything kind of happens for a reason, and sometimes at that moment, you don't know what that reason is. But looking back on this roller coaster journey that we went on, we wouldn't be sitting here today on this awesome yellow mustard vintage couch doing this video, showing you guys that you really can dream big and put everything that you want to put into your life. We are so happy with the outcome of this terrible situation. Our YouTube is going really well and we love making videos. We love making content for our channel. It is absolutely something that we wake up every day together, Philip and I, and do. Philip is home with me doing these videos. We both work at home now. We're able to pick the kids up and take them to school and spend all the quality time that we set as a goal for our family. So everything bad that happened has turned out to be such a positive in our life. And we know that we can create even more positives out of this situation by having this platform. We are so excited about all of the things that we know that 2020 is going to be all about for our YouTube channel as well as our personal life. Family togetherness, reaching 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I can't wait. Let's go. We have so many projects planned and we can't wait to show you. If you're not already part of our YouTube family, hit that subscribe button. I promise you won't regret it. 2020 is going to be super exciting and we have so many people behind us. We love hearing everyone's story and we love when you guys share your projects and successes with us. You send me messages on my Instagram, Elysia English, in the comment section of our videos, and even in my ElysiaEnglish@hotmail email. Thank you so much for everything you guys send us. It inspires us and empowers us to keep going. Let's set our goals together for 2020. Let me know in the comment section what you're hoping to set for your goals for the new year. Dream big, you can do it. If you want to connect with me, you can follow me on Instagram, Elysia English. You can send me a DM there or leave something in my comment section. If you want to send me something a little more private, you're welcome to use my email, ElysiaEnglish@hotmail.com. Otherwise, you know there's that awesome comment box down below. And don't forget to hit like. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to our journey. We're so glad that you're with us on our grand adventure on YouTube. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.
Oh my gosh, she's the size of the
She's seriously the size.